This is a video demonstration on how to perform an image backup of an individual computer. Let's proceed with creating a backup image job. Now, just before we do that, we'll take a look at the System Jobs folder. The System Jobs folder contains predefined folders which cannot be deleted, but which you can store your jobs in. As you can see, they are categorized in the common types of jobs which you will encounter with your deployments. Now, how do we create a job? There are several ways. You can create a new job from scratch where you define all the parameters, or you can go through the new job wizard, which will go through a step-by-step process to help you build a job. Or you can create a copy of a sample job which we've provided. You may be surprised at how easy it is to create a backup image of an individual computer. What I will do is create a backup of the Windows 7 client machine by right-clicking and selecting the new job wizard. I'll select Create an Image option and give the job a name. After clicking Next, I'm presented with the Select Computers option. Now I'm happy with my current selection, so I'll simply select Next and proceed with defining the actual image. By default, the Symantec Ghost Imaging Engine is selected. We do have other imaging tools available to you, but we recommend you use the default Symantec Ghost Imaging Engine. Now, selecting the location of where you store your disk image is critical to a successful imaging job. The pre-boot operating environments have already been pre-configured to obtain access to the deployment server share. Now, what I'm doing here is showing you what happens if you select a different location other than the deployment solutions share. You're presented with a warning. If you choose to store your image in a location other than the default data store, you need to ensure that you update the automation environment to obtain access to the location you have configured. Now, this is an advanced configuration and is not covered in this demonstration. Now, what I need to do is to go back and change the location of where the image is going to be stored. And what I'll be doing is selecting the default data store. This is in fact the program folder location. So anything within the deployment server folder resides in the default data store. Furthermore, there is an images subfolder with predefined platform subfolders. Notice how the location is changed to the current directory of the default data store, even though we selected the full local location. Now, since we are not creating a deployment image, we keep the sysprep settings unchecked. And also, since we're running this on a managed client, we leave the do not boot to production unchecked. And finally, we should select the WinPE managed preboot environment. So when we create a Windows image, we should be using a WinPE preboot OS. Click Next. You'll be presented with a summary of the job, and on the next page you'll have the scheduling configuration. So you can leave the job unscheduled, run the job immediately, or schedule the job to run at a later time. Now, before you proceed, it's always good practice to validate which computers you selected and that you've also selected the correct job. So once you're sure you've selected the correct computer and the select job, you can configure the schedule. Now, just before I schedule this job, I'm going to reorganize my job into a demo folder. So I'll simply right click, create a new folder, and then I could move my newly created job into the demo folder by a simple drag and drop method. I am now ready to reschedule the job by right clicking on the computer in the details pane and selecting reschedule. Now I'm going to choose to run this job immediately and then click OK. You are then presented with a warning to be sure that you want to continue with your schedule, because imaging tasks can be potentially destructive. Clicking yes will start the job immediately. So you can see that the job has started, and now we're going to switch over to view our computer automatically rebooting. As the computer restarts, it will be automatically redirected to boot via Pixie into WinPE. Once WinPE successfully loads up, it will automatically launch the automation agent, which will then connect to the Ghost Solution Suite server and obtain the backup image job which it was assigned. Once the task is received, it will automatically launch the Ghost imaging engine and start backing up the client machine onto the deployment data store. Notice the WinPE image has been configured to map the F drive to the deployment solution data store. Once the imaging task is completed, the computer will be automatically rebooted to production. You can review the status of the client through the Ghost Solution Suite console. So right click, select Properties, review the status details and the tasks that were performed. It's also good practice to browse the data store and confirm the existence of the Ghost image files. This concludes the video demonstration on how to perform an image backup.